Janatan Sayeh joins us now. He is a research analyst at Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Welcome to you, Janatan. So how seriously should we take President Trump's warning? Is military action truly on the table, or do you think this is more about strategic pressure?
It certainly is on the table, and the numerous air drills held between the United States, CENTCOM, and Israel truly demonstrate that threat to Tehran. Now, the other angle from this is that the Islamic Republic in Iran perceives its nuclear program as its main line of deterrence. The other two lines of deterrence being its proxies across the region, as well as its ballistic missile program. With the two of those latter ones having been effectively destroyed by Israel, Iran has no choice except to double down on its weaponization efforts, and open source intelligence has confirmed that. So Iran is getting closer and closer to a nuclear threshold, and the threat is very imminent for the United States and our allies, and Iran is aware of how heightened tensions are amongst the security cabinet, both in Israel and in the United States.
You speak of deterrence, but as Caitlin just mentioned in her report, we're also talking about a weakened Iran. President Trump notably pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, also known as the JCPOA, during his first administration. Today, the Jewish Insider reports former Biden and Obama foreign policy officials applaud Trump's move for directly talking with Iran's supreme leader. What, if any, deal could bring both sides back from the brink at this stage? Is there a diplomatic off-ramp?
The main issue with the original JCPOA agreement enacted in 2015 was the fact that Iran never dismantled its nuclear program. It limited it, which enabled it to later on enrich uranium in undeclared sites. So one critical point, if we're addressing Iran's nuclear program, would be to ensure that it fundamentally removes all of its nuclear capabilities. And President Trump has hinted at this. Now, we ideally would take this a step further and have a more comprehensive agreement that would also consider Iran's regional terroristic activities as well as their ballistic missile program. So these are the main pillars at hand. But then again, the question is whether Ayatollah Khamenei is willing to give up all these concessions. If he does not, he has to go to war effectively with the United States and Israel. So he's in a lose-lose situation.
I want to turn the topic just a bit. One of the key sticking points in the negotiations in the Gaza war is Hamas's demand for a permanent ceasefire. Janatan, do you think Hamas is likely to agree to another hostage release without getting that permanent truce in return?
It's a matter of how much pressure is going to be exerted on them. Ultimately, from the Israeli side, not being able to finalize any sort of agreement with Hamas would have political ramifications, because Netanyahu's government continues to be more fragile if they're not able to maintain this coalition. That's one angle. The other angle would be existential. Once the ceasefire effectively reaches its deadline, other proxies, also led by Tehran, Houthis in Yemen being one of them, are going to re-engage Israel from numerous fronts. So Israel is in a very challenging state right now, given all the range of threats. It is ideal for them to be able to reach an agreement with Hamas, but it is no longer applicable for us to expect to see Hamas governing Gaza, because we've seen what that leads to. So ultimately, the push from Jerusalem is to push out Hamas from Gaza in its entirety, but unfortunately, the Arab countries have rejected that plan.
All right, Janatan Sayeh with Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you so much for your time and your insights tonight.
Thank you for having me.